Vodafone presents the pre-match.
It's the Vodafone pre-match time once again, and it's going to be eUnited taking on Ghost Gaming. Now, quite an interesting one for us to see here, because we know Ghost Gaming can be good when they prepare for teams. We know how much research they like to do and what they prep for. They're definitely a more capable team that we've seen as of recent. But my thing that concerns me is you look back at their past results a bit and you see when they come up against teams that are in their region a bit more and the teams they're facing against more regularly, that stuff doesn't really start to work for them.
I mean, I think the last couple of days, I'm being super impressed by just, I mean, yeah, obviously they do prepare a lot, and that's a big part of their game plan. But I think the positive to take away is that if you would go through like a T side of Ghost, you see a lot of basic things. You'd see a lot of just them doing the basic things really super good. And that's, I think, is a great start if you want to be a successful Counter-Strike team. So I think positive signs so far. Obviously, they're sitting at 4-0 right at this point in time, having already met two big dogs in the NA Pro League.
Exactly.
So, you know, that now they just need to make sure that they're holding on to this composure. They don't let their focus kind of fade away at any point in time, and they should be fine here. Obviously, United is a team capable of fighting them, and if they do slip away at all, Ghost do, then yes, this could become tricky, but I do expect that Ghost should be the one here setting the pace.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment, but I just kind of look at it and think at eUnited, they're also in a similar boat, right? You've got the extra time, you haven't been at the bigger events as well, and they've played against each other a bit, so there's this opportunity here to kind of see how this can go down. The thing I really want to see, though, is just Neptune. I keep focusing on him, but this kid has come in 16, first ever Pro League. He's got his chance here, and he is not letting it go. He is impressing across the board, and obviously under such great leadership, he's able to shine now.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that he definitely isn't cracking under the pressure. He's clutching, had an amazing one-on-3 clutch against MIBR and Cash, for example. And that's a great sign. You know, I think we feel like with the addition of being able to play with the top-tier players, if you're talented, there's a possibility for you to play with the best players, basically. So you will start learning, like, the advanced things about Counter-Strike very, very early. So it does give us these storylines where you have players like Neptune coming in very, very young and playing some very smart Counter-Strike, because usually you see like a young guy has a great aim, but might be a little reckless, you know, might not really think things through every time, might be a little hard to lead, all those kind of things. But the great thing for him, obviously, is the fact that Steel is the one leading this team, and he has a lot of pedigree to be able to lead them.
We can see the rosters up on your screen there at the moment. eUnited's got Moose, Ace, Dazzle, Dapper, and Relics. Then we have for Ghost Gaming, Wardell, Sabrosa, Steel, Kusta, and the young boy himself, Neptune. Now, one of the things that worried me here for eUnited is we start on Inferno, which you can see as we're flying through the map. They lost 16-3 just a couple of days ago on our first match day to Renegades. Now, okay, the new invigorated Renegades, we can see the hungers there. Renegades looking very strong. It was, I believe that was the one where Azza had his insane performance as well. Yep. The thing that concerns me most is that I feel like Ghost Gaming would potentially here, especially on a map like Inferno, kind of, it favors them a little bit more going into it, just because they would be able to outshine them skill-wise from what United have to play with, because we've seen them being able to do it against teams like Made in Brazil.
Yeah, and Ghost is really good at like understanding what's going on in the game and kind of changing the way they both defend and how they attack. On attack, they know when to set the pace, start playing fast-paced, and then when to really, really slow down and expect for an aggressive push from the CTs. And on the contrary, we know their T sides, they look really phenomenal actually right now, so that'll be a challenge on its own. I feel like the caveat on that Renegades match really for United is the fact that, yes, Renegades got all the winning conditions going their way. An amazing game for Azur, an amazing start for them, obviously CT side, and just getting into the groove of things, and yeah, also the honeymoon period going on there, obviously right now. So I'm not really sure if you should read too much into it, honestly, but in the big picture, I still, you know, you just kind of have to favor Ghost into this, because they've just obviously taken. They've already beat bigger dogs, the big dogs of the NA Pro League, and obviously, you know, the things they did against Navi in Stockholm, for example, you don't forget about those either. I mean, those are some massive results, and it showcases the depth in this lineup. And obviously, having players like Neptune, having players like Wardell, I think especially Wardell is
he's looked great, right?
Yeah, he's an amazing player for sure, and he's been given this opportunity now, and I hope he runs with it.
Yeah, massively so, and that's the kind of a thing that a lot of these teams from Ghost are doing, right? Sorry, a lot of these players are doing on the Ghost team, because they have this opportunity now. They have the time to shine against the big dogs, and we saw them do it on LAN. Now they're bringing it to the online side of things, which is a nice change to make. The only thing that concerns me, and I come back to it, right, it's just where Ghost lose to these teams that you just don't expect them to lose to. They had that 16-11 scoreline against Bravado. I'd never even heard of Bravado when I was looking at it. And I'm like, Ghost, how do you let this happen? What would you kind of put that down to?
Off day, maybe? I don't know. It's really hard to pinpoint without seeing that match, obviously. There's a lot of little things that can happen in a game of Counter-Strike that affect the scoreline. But, I mean, here we see, actually, Ghost Gaming's recent results, obviously, had a strong start, already beat MIBR on Cash and Mirage, and then went on to beat Energy also. And that's, I mean, what a way to start. It's Inferno, Mirage twice, obviously, but also a wealth of maps. So they've already showed they have a good Dust 2, they have a good Mirage, their Cash plays on point, their Inferno is not too shabby. That's already 4 down, 3 to go. I mean, obviously, that's a great starting point for them. I think like the difference between these two teams, from what I've seen, is eUnited has a bit of a tendency of losing like silly rounds. They'll have the advantage, you know. Or they'll be like a second round and they'll be a forced buy from their opponents and they'll kind of turtle in a little bit too much, thinking that that's the best choice. And then giving a bit of an opportunity for their opponents to do a split, for example, and then get picked apart one by one. I've seen that happen a bunch of times, actually. So I think that's one thing that's definitely going the way of Ghost, because they seem to be the ones really liking to take initiative. They're really good at, you know, understanding where do we need to be when any kind of a scenario is happening. So they just feel like a more rounded team.
And the clutch factor as well, I think, is one of the things you've got to highlight on Ghost, because they weren't scared to go head-to-head against the NRG boys or Made in Brazil, right? And Made in Brazil being kind of one of the scariest teams if you count out Team Liquid, because we haven't really seen them. We get to see them first time today. I feel like if you're able to do that kind of performance, then even when you are down and out of it, when you are 2-man down, you can still win them 3v5s, 2v5s, because they seem to just have that raw confidence.
Yeah, and also they don't overextend. You see them play like a 3-on-3 after plant situation. What helps them a lot is a player like Cordell will hit a lot of the snappy shots when he's just holding an angle, and then, you know, giving his team that numbers advantage, and then the rest of the guys will just hold their angles, play the crossfires, and just do their job as intended. I'm sure that's really down to Steel, because we know like he can be what's the appropriate way to put it, a spicy person at times.
That's definitely one way. You're making me die.
But I'm sure he's making sure that his team is really aware of what to do in every single situation. It's an unknown quantity to a lot of the viewers watching the game. It's something that you can't really put weight on just watching the game. Is that someone that's been already through what the player like Seal has, and what can he give to these individuals, of understanding tiny little details of every single movement they make in those crucial mid-round situations, after plant situations. How do we react when certain things happens, when one of your players is going down, for example? How do we react to that?
And one of the things I want to say quickly there before we move on about Steel is just the fact that, remember, obviously his past is kind of hindered him a little bit, right? Held him back. But imagine, and he must think this as well, what he could be and the level he could be on now had he not made that blunder right back in the past and had the opportunity to be there playing at these big events for the longest time, because he's proven over all his time, he'll just keep playing. He'll keep getting better at the game. He'll keep learning deeper into the game. And look at him now.
Yeah, I mean, it took years, obviously, that away from his career. But now, look at him now. He's come back and he's showcasing what he's capable of. And actually, we can now watch something.
Oh, yes.
A clip of how they actually play some really cool Counter-Strike. I think the cool part about them is that, like I said, they make teams kind of be proactive and try to make plays, kind of bait them into it. And then they'll just go into the bomb sites. This is a bit of an example from day one against MIBR as they go towards the B bomb site. They've taken over the B garage, and they're aware of the fact that there's a possibility of an aggressive play. Goldzera is behind the box, and as a flash comes in, he's going to be able to get that one kill. But since there's a trade ability, they get the trade. It goes a bit of back and forth. Tarek somehow manages to get that kill, even though he's absolutely blind. But no worry, Ghost is going to come in here, trade effectively once again. It'll end up in a 2-on-2 situation. It just goes one by one. They keep the numbers advantage in their favor. Even though it goes down to like a 2-on-2 eventually, they still win it. It's just basic, nice little things that they just do correctly time and time again, and it's fun to watch. It's no gimmicks, it's no tricks, it's just basic, cool Counter-Strike. It works, and it's something that I'm sure that still is massively a part of making sure that this team is playing this way.
Well, it comes back to what you're saying, right? You can see it just from that clip alone. They weren't overextending. They were waiting for Made in Brazil to push into them, and they make them pay the price for it. Now, there are 2 Canadians also joining us on the desk. No bias here for Ghost Gaming, of course. No, you guys have been very fair throughout with it.
They love Moose. So.
Yeah, it's eUnited. That's the problem. We want to be biased, but we don't know how to.
Yeah.
Because we want both teams to win.
We're going to do the proper Canadian thing here, right? And then since there's 2 Canadians involved on each side, we're just going to root for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's
Or we
far
can
too
pick one
friendly.
each, too, yeah?
Yeah, okay, we'll do each.
All right.
I call Ghost.
Okay.
That was real. Okay, so now we definitely know where you're going, because that was a super, I'm not being stuck with eUnited.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily stuck with United. I just think that, like, if Ghosts are going to start off with a 4-0 this season, I'd be surprised if United gives them that first loss.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I could see, I feel like we talked about why, like, conditions that Ghost can lose in at this point, and it's like teams that might be a little bit less predictable, and maybe United is one of those teams. I feel like United and Ghost are the 2 dark horses, the 2 wild cards of the whole season.
Okay.
And so, maybe fight fire with fire.
Now, would you like to see maybe then a looser style from United going into this, just so like they completely change things up?
Yeah, I think they do play like pretty default heavy in the first place, which I think is a good sign. It takes a lot of confidence and coordination to play a default style, and so I think that's how they pull out a lot of their wins. Where I feel like a very strat heavy style is good if your individuals aren't that great, like helps make the most of a round. But they have strong individuals, and I think they heighten that by making sure they let them all work.
Yeah, maybe like set the tone, fast pace really early on, especially if they have to start on T side. Make sure that you're maybe try to surprise your opponent somehow. Try to make Ghost kind of rattled, and then if you get the game going, obviously with the individual skill that they have as well, you never know. The snowball might start rolling your way.
So we spoke a lot about Ghost, right? But on the United side, what do you guys want to look at in terms of the actual individual player abilities? Who are we going to be looking towards to say, look, this is where you must deliver?
Yeah, I always look at Ace because he brings that op presence to the team, right? And it's not too often that you actually see other players from eUnited picking up the AWP. So if they're going to have that tool as a part of tonight's success, then I think Ace definitely needs to start strong. And that's always something I emphasize with eUnited and Ace in particular, is a strong start. Because it's not too often that I feel like we see them come back from behind.
Yeah.
It's happened, and important games as well. So I know it does sometimes appear, but I'm looking at him, and again, I'm looking at Moose, and I'd love to see a little bit more from Dazzle. Not that I think he's like exceptionally quiet, but I think he's just exceptionally good.
Yeah.
So if they're going to cause that upset, those are the 3 I'd like to watch succeed tonight.
Now, you started with Ace there. I want to ask, how do you think he's going to fare against Wardell, who has just looked nutty in the games we've seen?
Yeah, so this is the cool thing, right? And I think that when Mohan's talking about fighting fire with fire and kind of being unpredictable, you have to remember that the Ghost roster, before being underneath the leadership of Steel, was that type of team, right? There was a time where Sabrosa would just run around getting headshots, when Wardell was just trying to be that flashy op. And it's kind of like going back to their roots. So I don't think eUnited will be able to make them all too uncomfortable if that's the route they try to take, that aggressive kind of strong start. And that's the beauty of it, is we get these really strong riflers who can be super explosive, kind of countered versus one another. This is like, to me, all of the best upcoming talent in that lesser pool of NA. Obviously, Ghosts have kind of established themselves one step ahead, but there's just so much sick firepower, and we've not seen all too much from these guys on an international stage. So that's why I love watching them at the same time.
Imagine like that amount of individual skill you have in Ghost, and you put them on a leash, you make sure they're doing what you want, and that's exactly what's happening with Ghost, really, because now you see them actually execute to perfection a lot of the times, having all the timings are just spot on. Like the one image I have in my head is when they were going into the B bomb side. I think it was against MIBR.
MIBR,
yeah. It was just like a flash, molly, flash.
On Cash?
Yeah, no, on Rush.
On Rush, okay.
Yeah. There was a B bomb site, so that the player that was playing bench in the back of B, he was blind, and the molly came in. He was blind again as the molly was there, and then everyone was just swarming in. And,
No hope at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of timing everything to perfection, and that's really, really cool to see that they're really paying attention to the smallest of detail.
Maybe Ents will get there one day.
Listen, mate,
Hey, I'm still waiting for that to happen.
we're trying. So that's a buzzkill.
So there you go. So, Darcy, we feel for you. There is love here,
I
really.
just felt like I felt like you were foreshadowing. So I felt like you were talking to the lineup right now.
We only got 3 days in before that happened. I was going to give him a little bit more room before we started mentioning Ents things, like give him a chance to do well. Yeah. It's all right. Yeah, it's an NA Pro League as well. Ents would surely beat the NA teams, though, right?
Wait, what? Okay, this is
fully
derailed completely.
Matthew's tired, he's sick.
any excuse right now. No.
Rough. All right, cool.
There has been another CSGO update, which is why we are waiting at the moment. Of course, Valve would do this for us, just as they like to throw in
This
more
is
updates.
back-to-back nights, both when Ghost is about to play. So, I mean, I feel like maybe they're
Conspiracy.
targeting them, you know? Valve, Ghost, Steel.
Yeah.
Something
Steel
going
is
on
so
there.
conspiratorial.
There's
I feel like
something going
he tweeted
on.
out, he's like, oh, coincidence
Yeah.
that they update like right when my game's supposed to start.
Well, the games are about to start, so finally, guys, where do we think we're going? It seems like a very Ghost decision so far.
It's a ghosty ghost.
Yeah, with a 4-0 record, I think that they deserve having this edge, but I'm not going to write off eUnited, and I think the teams that do are the ones that end up eating losses.
Yeah. At least also they have it's two teams that can spend 100% of the time practicing for this one match. So at the very least, it should be like the best versions of both the teams. I think just in general, the performance United, as hard as they've been trying recently, I think have had spotty results. Like what was their exit at New York like?
Yeah, so at ESL New York, there's this side tournament. I think in MSI something. Excuse me for not having the name, but MSI Gaming Arena. That's what it was, and they actually took Complexity into like a double overtime near loss, right? So I think that's a good indicator as to what they are still capable of. We know Complexity, big upsets at the major, really exciting
100%.
stuff. So yeah, I forgot what the question was.
Oh, how early was their exit at that tournament?
There was only four teams, so relatively early, but it was close games at least. That's the thing, right?
Okay,
It,
so they
it could have
did
gone the
alright.
other way.
Okay.
No double elimination makes it a little bit harder, but
I mean, it's a best of one finals. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
not exactly our normal Counter-Strike, right? Not what we're expecting to see. But what we are expecting to see is Ghost going up against eUnited right now. Guys, it'll be your time to take this away. The question is, can Ghost keep that clean sweep? Or will eUnited have a little bit of a chance? You guys are about to deliver all the action.
Yep, we'll have the answer.
United are 1-3, right?
I believe so,
Went
yes.
1-1 yesterday and lost their first two matches.
Let's pull it up for the sake of it, Launders,
Why
because
not
we don't
make
want to be
sure?
spreading false information.
Why not make sure?
Let's check them out. United, yes, most certainly. Currently 1 win and 3 losses. So they are sitting in 8th, the bottom of the division, with Cloud9, NRG, and then all the other teams that haven't played a game yet.
Yeah. So at least they've been in the server.
Yeah, that's something. But they'll be starting off on the CT side of Inferno. I'm excited that this is our first map. It's always nice to see United here. I do think that it can set them up to succeed. But Dazzle will kick it off with an opening kill, as he does let 2 players get past him into his spawn, where Neptune decides to turn back and cause a bit of an issue. He could even find some more, but there's 2 players there, and Relic's pinched within 3, so that's an excellent position for him to manage 1 frag, because I wouldn't excuse him if he just died instantly. Again, a headshot from Ace. This is what I'm talking about. Crisp, clean aim. The skill that we know exists on eUnited. I'd say that with their other 2 matches so far this week, there have been moments where it's a slow start. This is not looking like the case, but you are dealing with a beast right now. Steel, 1 headshot, 2 more targets to find. Dapper and Moose, both within the bomb site, and he's got confirmation of it. So now with a flash, it looks like Steel's possibly going to try to get back to the A site. He gave him the old dipsy doodle, Mohan.
Oh my god, does he get away here? There's no way. He was so close, and he got so far, and he had that 1 flash to help him assist, but instead, United get the team ace, and everybody chipping in for a clean headshot that round. Maybe the last kill was a little bit labored, but apart from that, it looked like a relatively good round from United. And yeah, I like how Relic's dealt with a situation where he's getting pinched, 2 players coming through a smoke, and we see again that spacing as 2 players come through a B smoke, they put themselves on opposite sides of it, so no one can have an easy second kill, the hardest possible trade. But then eventually turning around after his awareness kicks in that there could be somebody finally crunching them from CT or from A site, excuse me.
Now what's the move? I don't want to see an eUnited just kind of making mistakes in this round, but I also don't want to see them play too scared. I know it's a tantalizing task dealing with Ghost, who have obviously come into a very hot start. But right now, they're just floating 2 men next to Pit. 1 around the arch side, and it is Ace first contact on Banana. Dabbers the fast rotate. I believe he's got a flash primed as well, so if Ace needs help, it's there. Should be thrown over. There you have it, the 2-piece setup, but Ace does not connect his shots. Dapper's here still to bail him out. 4 targets to come in from Ghost Gaming. A fresh magazine, still not enough to find Ace a kill. But Dapper has reinforcements. Relics puts down the flames, and Ghost do not charge through it. They will divert back towards mid, where we've already got Dazzle in a more forward position.
A lot of advantages coming his way as the first player gets clothesline, second one goes down. Easy third kill as well as he breaks up the spray into 2 quick bursts, and eUnited get the 2-0 and lock it up. I like a lot how they countered that flash that you always see getting thrown from the bottom of Banana to top Banana, where Ace just sits behind the half wall, and I was thinking, holy smokes, he saw the flash coming, he saw the players, or at least heard the footsteps. He knows there's a rush coming his way. Isn't he going to spot and then fall off? And then the flash comes from behind to make sure that he can be the one to peek, and it is a reactionary flash that looks so effective.
Moose on the loose, already charging down alt mid, and he will therefore find Kusta. But it's Dazzle's M4 that really starts to add up the frags. Bit more cash made from Relics, and eUnited, knowing, of course, they have such a huge advantage. Inferno is one of those maps when you can just go barreling downwards, and they do.
Oh, it's just terrible when you're on the T side and you're losing rounds and people like CTs are roaming around mid. Like, it's supposed to be your zone, but it's so wide open at mid. It's so easy for the CTs to see all the way down there early in the round. It's kind of similar to Dust 2. The peak doesn't happen quite as quickly, but once you're on the A site, if for a second they let it slip, if for a second the Ts aren't there to keep 6, they'll always have a CT right up their alley trying to capitalize on an opportune moment. And Sabrosa very fortunate to not get burned here, but had the smoke ready to make sure that he didn't take any damage, and now with the flash, he's getting pushed into an awkward spot. Couldn't react in time, couldn't go for the shoulder peek. Instead thought, all right, I'm blind, but I'm safe for at least a moment.
Yeah, Dapper really wanted to make sure he got that kill. Almost catches himself off guard. There's another one from Dazzle. Dazzle's been doing a good job of being kind of that second piece, right? Not finding a 5 versus 4, but extending the man advantages, whether that be in the anti-ecos or now the gun rounds too. So the first buy for Ghost not going too well. They've got 2 of the remaining 3 on half health. Neptune taken down, so the tagged up players remain, and that is all 5 slain with another 5 standing. eUnited, hot start, and this is when the team really starts to unlock their potential.
Pretty nice, and they just dump all their SMGs. They made so much money off of those rounds. They're all looking very healthy, and now the Ghost Gaming have to eco one more time. That's just going to be so much money to start this game off with, and let alone the 5-0 start. You really doesn't feel like Ghosts are going to be able to pull out an eco here, but we should definitely hold our breath and see what they can do, because they are playing. They are in the rounds. They do have, although a low percentage chance of winning, a percentage nonetheless. And after some time spent peeking around mid, eUnited switch up and smoke deep Banana, and they can even see mid from there, interestingly enough.
You know, I feel like with the skill being so deep on a team like eUnited, at least personally, I know myself, I don't think I'd mentioned Dapper enough.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he's maybe the youngest kid on the whole team. I think he is, definitely, by far, actually. And this is a team of players who are all, like, quite young and quite early into their careers, but Dapper, like, the most fresh face for sure, and has been killing it, has killed it in rank S, and it's kind of I mean, it was a short time coming, but it was something that people expected, that he would get on a Pro League team, that he would do well on a Pro League team for sure. Yeah,
and I think he gets recognition because, remember, he was, at least on my radar, because of the whole GX situation. Oh my god. I'll come back to my point because Kusta's got one of his own. Neptune with a second pistol kill. This is not supposed to happen. In no world, but yet it is unfolding here to the favor of Ghost. The retrieved AWP for Wardell has convinced eUnited to save.
That's nasty. They get to pick up the 3 guns as well. They'll be able to go into CT spawn, pick up a 3rd weapon. I think it's only MP9s, unfortunately, at the top of Banana, but keeping 4 alive is big. They didn't even have armor here. They literally put it all on the table last round, and this one was just supposed to be get whatever kills you can. So this is shocking that Ghosts were able to pull this one out. eUnited had so much going for them, and suddenly it's now a little bit more even though there will be a buyout for both teams next round.
So returning to the point of Dapper, I mean, remember when GX had him moving with their roster, that's when, of course, Dazed was the in-game leader there and gave him the chance. And I feel like whenever you have a player who's incredibly young being on a roster with older players, it's because they recognize the skill that player has. They understand the potential. So
yeah, it felt like the roster that he made was specifically like, let's just pick out a couple of really young kids who, you know, again, if you choose to play with Dazed or Steel,
That's what's gonna happen.
You know you have like limited potential, right, in terms of like what you can do. That being said, I mean, I'd like to make it known that like majors are not, like, not being able to not go to majors is not the end of the world. There are literally so many tournaments, and most of the premier tournaments have bigger prize pools than majors and tons of prestige and all of that stuff. Sometimes even better bracketing systems. Like, there's so many good, like, great things about other tournaments. It's the only game like that, and so it's not the end of the world. But the best chance you're going to get for a player who has a lot of, like, sees a lot in himself is somebody who maybe hasn't had the team experience, or maybe isn't going to attend the very next major. Maybe in the future they'll be set up to be able to do that with the experience and wisdom that has been brought onto them by these players, like Steel or Dazed. But that definitely was Dazed's plan, because he went with Dapper and Pollo.
Yep. Obviously, Pollo then was on the Torqued lineup that became Ghost Gaming, cut after their first kind of international stint between Belo Horizonte and DreamHack Tour. That's
a rip. I played an entire season of main with him.
Pollo?
We actually, yeah. We went, that was the season, my first season IGLing, we had a great season, went 14-2. Pollo was an all-star. He had definitely the highest stats on the team and made plays every game.
We'll see if Ghost can make any plays as they wrap up around Arch. They're going to have to. 30 seconds left to play with, and Sabrosa each one to the face. But Steel fires straight back. Do to them what was done to you. Now the pinch comes in. Dazzle inside of the bomb site. Good wraparound to deny Neptune anything further. And remember, Moose is inside of this pit, dealing with the players trickling in. He can even stop the bomb, which he does, denying Ghost anything really in this round. Sure, they find 2 kills, but when we talk about the momentous economic start for eUnited, 2 kills is nothing in their eyes.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter at this point. Great start from Musalov to get these 4 kills. And a perfect crossfire. The great rotations came in to crunch that 3rd kill. Dazzle was super aware on the site to make sure he sealed up the last one. And why not have a USP at the end, just a couple of clean headshots just to neutralize Wardell completely.
There it is, the op fight, Ace versus Wardell. Take note, folks, Wardell 1, Ace 0. At least in terms of the raw op duels. Grenades, though, could get back the man advantage. You see Wardell drop to 53. Sabrosa's going to slip away with that sniper. Immediately charging up into the A site. Wow, what a change of pace here from Ghost Gaming. They're trying to envelop the B bomb site. Moose, thanks to his teammate's flash, clears off one avenue, but does still peek into Wardell, so it does fall to Dazzle. Moose with a big multi-frag last round, but Wardell sitting on a 3K already. He has actually managed all of the frags thus far. A single-handed performance from what is one of the biggest outstanding players on this team. Ghost, using him to assure a plant here and now. Hell, he even convinces Relics to fall off.
Tags him up through the wall, leaving him just at 19. And there is a big rotate around to CT. We're almost reaching the halfway point of the bomb blowing up. And I don't know if this is something they want to go for. No, it looks like they want to make sure that if it's going to be an exit, that they get a piece of it. So we don't know where Ghost Gaming are going to try to exit. They've got a couple of players with enough HP to survive in the pit. And interestingly enough, they've picked up 2 ops. I really don't know why Sabrosa wanted to pick up the op, if it was called, if somebody else wanted it for the next round. But, oh, Sabrosa, will he die? Yeah, actually goes down too. Would have liked to see what the plan was there.
I would have liked to see what damaged him, actually.
I think it was Relics was up at mid, or Dapper was like just sitting there.
Floating around middle.
Yeah.
That was a very narrow angle versus Dazzle. But that's all Neptune, excuse me, that's all Wardell needs.
2 up now as they move into another strong rifle round. Smoke to the bottom of Banana Steel to try to get aggressive, but the Molotovs trade places, and now he is between 2 fires, but great awareness from his teammates to be so set on making sure he doesn't take much damage.
United just used a lot of their B-site utility.
Yep, so now they boost Dapper into just a frag out position while Relics moves off, and they've got no offensive utility to use.
Bless you.
Excuse me, I didn't know where my cough button was, so I didn't want to sneeze while upside down.
Ace isn't going to retreat. He just got a little spooked by the chicken, I think.
I think so, yeah.
I saw like a little flick, you know? Don't blame him. The movement can be spooky.
Important match.
It is October, after all.
We need Spocktober, where everyone walks around with Spock ears.
I don't want to do that.
Okay, you're not join in.
Steel's going to charge in. Doesn't actually see the player who was behind the fountain. Dapper by Stewbox. Has a bit of cover to work with here. Oh man, he just goes right out. Double kill for him. That denies anything. Bomb thrown out into the open. Sure, Kusta's going to try to make this flank work from spawn, but Wardell's going to get pinched here from Coffin. So nicely done by Dapper. He wins out the round. That's a single-handed play if I've seen one.
Straight up 4 kills. Yeah, making Stewie proud for sure. That was well done from him, looking very fluid in the movement. And again, this is a great position to sit in. If no one's here to harm you, then you can just fall back. You've got 2 more angles to work with. And he's also got teammates to help distract for attention. And look at Sabrosa, just dies blind, clean headshot. Neptune also on the site, eviscerated.
There have been really good flashbangs for eUnited. Think about the way Dapper sets up Ace on the top of Banana. We saw Dazzle flash for Moose inside B-Apps, or A-Apps, excuse me. And now we have this one as well, where Dapper comes wide and pops a couple heads. So I like to see this little team play from eUnited. I don't think it's just their aim that needs to be on point, but kind of those minute pieces of teamwork as well is what's going to set them into the seat of a challenger versus Ghost.
You never see United like fluff it in terms of like trading. Their spacing is really good,
Yeah.
and they're always trading. Like they're always there for their teammates. They're always thinking about each other, and it shows, you know. And every time you go for a trade, you're obviously putting yourself in danger. But they know how to make those calculated risks work, and it's clear that without that, they would have lost some of the rounds that we've seen already just in this match alone.
Oh, look, it's James IRL's dead body. Oh, you didn't see it.
Oh yeah, no, I saw it. Still on the server, of course, the former coach of Cloud9, now the
Analyst.
coach of Ghost. Oh, sorry, you're right. Analyst of Cloud9, analyst now, or
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said
all right,
anything.
all right.
I'm going to take the fault on that one.
The resident wise man for Cloud9 and Ghost Gaming.
All-around great person. And
Strong individual.
good friend of Jordan Nothing Gilbert.
Highly aesthetic. Yeah, longtime friend. They went to like all their first lands together back in 1.6 out in California.
That SoCal land scene. Ace gonna be given targets here. He's not quite sure from which direction. Doesn't take the shot, falls off immediately and puts down a smoke. Not that he's gonna linger around it.
Right there, using the smoke, it's going to be good if they decide to go re-aggress for banana control, but if not, might as well have thrown it a little bit more shallow. Number one, you show yourself for somewhat a couple seconds less, but in a tense situation like that, it can get really weird. But here, they're not camping it whatsoever. Ace is spotting down the top choke point, and we'll be looking for a wide peak to try to capitalize on. I think the run boost comes out. Good flash. He now needs to fall back. Will he be able to shoot?
Yeah, and he gets one. Whoa, quick fingers from Ace. And even Dapper gets a double. That's big. I mean, you look at the positioning there and the complete swarm from Ghost, and it's no excuse if they only get maybe 1 or 2 kills. That's a very crucial one from Ace, because it's what basically establishes this man advantage.
Definitely.
Dapper's double was just the committed spray, but Ace's shot, I don't know how that works.
Gave up the off to Wardell, though, in the after plant. Very dangerous player to have it. So even from this man disadvantage, well earned, might not be enough.
No smoke to put out flames here for the T's, so they are just locked into the back of the sights. Dazzle catches Kusta, and there you have it. Another double from Dazzle. That's a 7-2 lead now for eUnited, and this CT side's looking great.
Look at that. They made him just the slightest bit uncomfortable, and he goes ahead and whiffs 2 bullets. I feel like if he clicked in that moment, he actually saves his teammate a quad. Maybe he still dies, is the thing that we don't know about. But there were a couple of could have been very important shots that were not hit there. But overall, a great hold. And again, Dapper put himself out in the open. It would have been, I mean, it's hard to like expect that he gets to, and he still does that. And also, yeah, Ace, I mean, he got caught off guard, and he still flipped around, put the scope up, landed the shot, no problem.
Little scope with big plays. Whoop, there goes Relics. Sabrosa finds some ability and even an M4, but then Dapper drops him. Not that it's for free. Dapper on 12 HP. 3T's still up. Dazzle was sitting on the bomb, but he gets
No head armor.
swarmed. Oh, that's true.
It's the gush.
And then the bomb's picked up off of it. Moose was not able to help him in that situation. So where do you go from here for Ghost? Right into the scope of Ace.
Oh, this is one of those timing things, isn't it? Do they go into CT here? Does Ace find one? Quick on it.
Then he's going to try to position for a second. Realizes they could try and trickle past, which they have, but they're both holding the angle. They're waiting for the repeat. They know they have him pinned into the corner, so he drops the smoke. The no-scope does not connect, and Kusta with a second Glock kill this round. But Moose, ice in his veins, will get the back, and that's 2T's slain. 8-2 now.
It was nice that he waited those extra couple of seconds, right? Just
Yep.
gets that perfect lineup. It seemed like, oh, maybe someone slips away, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Very calculated in that move. And why? What's happening?
What's crazy here is, I mean, I've seen the multi-frags from Dazzle. I've seen Dapper's presence, but at what point did Moose slip away with 12 kills?
Yeah, he's been a quiet 12. I don't know how he did that, but it was the one 4K in pit that we saw.
Very true.
That was a big one, and 2 kills right there. So that's 6. Now we just need to find a couple more rounds where he did well.
They're out there. We also haven't seen Pit all too contested. I mean, a couple of A-site plays this time. Dapper just gets blown away by Sabrosa. That's an M4 upgraded here for Steel. The damage is there, so I understand what eUnited's up to. Ace is actually lucky to be alive. That could have so quickly been a 5 versus 3 situation with no one near rotation.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Dazzle wins a close duel. That's very important as well, because I think it's going to make Kusta a little more hesitant. And you were seeing Ghost actually redirect themselves from Banana. Now the options in the air.
It does change the game quite a bit. Know where apartments control, they know where Dazzle is. Relics, woo, thank goodness that was a really good flash. He looks away and also makes it 2. Can he make a 3rd kill happen? No, Wardell gets the better of him, and Ace picks up the trade. Bomb gets dropped. Ace is low on HP, and his teammates are quite far away. Kust is also ready to go fast.
Fast he will. I mean, remember, he's got that scout, so movement's one thing. He's also picked up the bomb. Ace is going to just have to hide, I think, but Kusta is going to try to get him from the other way.
Knows he doesn't get a plant for free here.
Yeah.
Especially now that he's used the Molotov, however.
Played with too much time, and that's what happens. The rest of eUnited show up, as they all have been throughout this half. 9-2.
Can't be understated for sure. And it's, wow, at most 5 kills on each of the players at Ghost. And even though the score is lopsided in favor of eUnited, I really like that Ghost are constantly approaching B the way they are, because Ace has barely got away like a number of times, and then they've also won a round straight up running him down. So I think that the playbook makes sense. It seems like eUnited have to approach B in a couple of different ways. I would have liked to see that initial flash setup that we saw from them one more time, where they wait for the banana flash after smoking bottom banana, and then they counter flash and go for the fight. It seems that right now Ace is spotting, getting tagged up, not taking an op shot, falling back, and not being as used as he could be, really. Whereas if they flash for him, he can be a bit more aggressive, and it seems like he's definitely the player you want to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I think that's when he can shine. He's got a very flashy style, and when it's coupled with an op, it's nice.
It's so hard to strike that balance, man, because you like play all your games and then you have like a bad day, and then your team's like, you know what, man, like
Stop doing that.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly, right? How
Yeah.
many times are you going to peek banana and be the first to die? But if you're not
Exactly.
allowed to do that halfway through the game, where
Yeah.
are you going to find your impact?
That's
That's why I always try to emphasize, like, Ace needs a strong start, because that's when everybody around him believes it, and he does as well. It's hard to keep up confidence if you're just being bullied at the start of every round.
That's a really interesting way to quantify momentum.
At the same time, of course, he's been set up to succeed with Dapper. I think Dapper's been a real rock on that B bomb site. Like, so even despite Ace, I mean, here's the thing. Poor Ace has to deal with what's been like 3-4 attackers every time.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that he's being overwhelmed.
It's also these ecos where it's like your op is not even as useful because they're just moving so fast. They're grouped up tight. They're like throwing caution to the wind. It's nice when you can just one op on a rifler and then fall back and then do that one more time. Maybe find an op duel in there.
Yeah, I feel like there's only been one actually just straight up op duel between Wardell and Ace. For the record, Wardell did grab it. Here's the flash into the pit. Not going to bother Dazzle, who just waits for them to come into his crosshair. He's got teammates nearby. And this is an easy cleanup as far as eUnited are concerned. That's now double digits and one hell of a lopsided half. If I'm not mistaken, this is actually the worst half Ghosts have had so far this season.
Oh, of course. I don't think they ever had They definitely didn't have 2 rounds this far in. They never had I want to say a half that they lost even. They won all of their first halves in the 4 maps that they played.
Fair.
It only got kind of close versus MIBR
On Mirage.
On Mirage. That was the only time. So looked like they were in the power position for all of their maps. And yeah, so eUnited are putting them in a very uncomfortable spot. And it is kind of like what Natsu said, where it's just like, I think they need to have a hot start. However, they're doing it from the CT side. And Dazzle, does he actually get the flank off? So Broza somehow is fully aware of this. But Moose from the upper rafters.
Clinging to the ceiling. He will be dropped, and Kusta combines with a push out from Bauk, but they forgot something important, and that is the bomb. Importantly as well, Wardell just gets himself a kill. That was on the library player. Now they're toying with this close corner, and that's going to cost them their lives.
That flash was kind of cheeks.
Really awkward spot, because, again, I feel like they're trying to make plays here. Like you said, the flashbang a part of it. When the smoke fades, Wardell, he's pinned into the corner. The double peek is good. And that's Ghost Gaming with a 2 versus 3. They never even needed the bomb.
Yeah. I don't know what part of the comeback was unwarranted. It's nice that Moose made that. It was actually like great for him to trade right here. It's right after his teammate dies too, so movement playing a huge factor in him being able to lock that down.
That's a strong position, but it's even stronger when you can do it yourself.
Mm-hmm. As you should. You shouldn't. We're no longer in kindergarten. We have no training wheels on. We're in Pro League. Everybody needs to learn their movement.
Neptune wrapping around truck side. Quick foray into A. It's met with some resistance by the smokes of eUnited. And we have that number 4-man Dapper coming to bolster Arch lane, but he's hesitant and he's already going to double back because so immediately Ghost, they had that pressure and then it's gone. It arrives as quickly as it just kind of fades away, and because of that, I don't think they're biting, but no, I'm wrong. There's hesitation here. Dapper being floated back and forth. Seemed like he had an inkling as to what would have been the right call, which was go help Ace.
They are fully invested in this A site right now. Well, at least we'll get to see Ace work once again versus a mob of offense. Oh, not a good way to start.
No, but he'll have a little bit of a smoke to play with, and then Wardell wins another duel, 2-0. If I remember correctly.
A lot of damage done here. Yeah, whoa, so much damage done.
Everybody lucky to be alive. I mean, a well-placed frag could take down 4 of these players.
Oh my god, they're saving because they have no retake utility.
Man.
If only they knew, huh?
If only they knew.
They would definitely try it.
So, that's a 4th one for Ghost. Still could finish with 5 on the T side, which I think is enough to switch over and kind of continue on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think if MIBR taught us anything so far tonight, it's that switching sides can really reinvigorate you.
It's not over till it's over. Yeah, they can get a fresh start. So overall, once again, Ghost abusing B. And I don't know how they earned themselves that heavy rotation out of the site, but typically you don't want to leave, like, say Ace dies, but he dies at half wall while they're all at bottom banana. Then the CTs can come back, no problem. It's not even a risk at that point, but he dies in the site, so then the site's taken over. Then the round's over. There's no way to rotate in that easily. So I don't know why they did that. And obviously, Ace missed that first kill. Who knows if he makes it a multi, but then he gets out off by Wardell as well. Just to rub salt in the wound. And eUnited are back on the last round. I want to know, is this going to come down to B once again?
Seems like they're going to at least throw that op in it. I feel like Wardell is actively hunting Ace, to be honest.
That would be a bad strategy, but if he does, that's cool.
Meanwhile, Steel's going to hunt something in the A site. Whoa! Dazzle, narrow angle. Steel blindsided by that one. Kusta assumes the position of the corpse and is met with a face full of smoke. Do it. Do it, says Wardell. Dapper's gonna
just runs. Wow, yeah, again, once again, like, leaving is one thing. Leaving when you don't have info is another. And there are literally more terrorists here at top banana than anywhere else on the map. Finally comes back. Spam might help Ace. Oh, but not enough.
Sabrosa just stands right up, takes his head straight off, and Dapper also falls to Sabrosa. Yassine, successful in his entries. He's established Ghost's man advantage. With the bomb plant in the 15th round here, it's going to be the retake attempt. So let's see what you're made of, eUnited. Dazzle's found Wardell. That's a good start, but there's still a player in both Banana and the barbecue pit. Relics, thanks to the Molotov, finds Sabrosa pushed out. And there's no more utility here for the T side, but one hell of a collection in terms of flashbangs. Kusta and Neptune combined for the headshots. And there's one back for Dazzle, but Kusta's got the last, and therefore Ghost find 5.
Yeah, that was a cool try, but an even cooler hold. And overall, like, not a great half, but Ghost continued to exploit B. And that's where a lot of the flaws for eUnited were. As we can see, whenever they came to the A site, Moose was here to crush them from the pit. And he also had some great trades. We saw one from the upper balcony. And while there were some valiant holds as well on the B site, there's clearly like a lot of flaws in terms of rotations and when they were scared. And it seemed like they were playing a guessing game when they could have just been trying to at least like make an informed decision.
I feel like when we saw the most amount of success out of eUnited at the B site, it's when they actually had that forward banana control.
Yeah.
And then after a few times of using that dapper over the building flash, it just kind of seemed to be more reserved and hiding in the site. And I think that also kind of plays into the variable of Ace being aggressive. How many times is he just kind of stuck in the bomb site with like a smoked off teammate in CT spawn?
He's not the guy you want in the corner.
No, he's the guy you want in the front.
Right. Yeah, the front of the line.
He's got the style for it.
Absolutely. That's how he gets all his gear, right? He's up at the front of the line.
But alas, dear friends, it is eUnited with what you could argue is a surprising start here on Inferno, taking a chunk out of Ghost, who were looking quite invincible.
No, they looked indomitable versus MIBR. Also, they actually played them on Inferno too, right? If I'm not mistaken. One of their games that they won, they did it in convincing fashion on Inferno. Easily locked it up. So I think we're at half, kind of an extended half. Don't know if there are any issues. Maybe another CSGO update if we're lucky. Maybe the snowman's hat doesn't come off again. Maybe it's a rollback.
So let's see. Yeah, Ghost 1612 NRG on Inferno.
Oh, NRG, who have an incredible Inferno.
Yeah. Those were two close games. It's actually interesting. The games versus NRG were closer than those of MIBR. There was 2 16-14s in there. So 2 rounds literally separate Ghost between a flawless record and one not so much. So maybe they are, kind of getting more credit than they are due. Maybe they're not as invincible as some would assume. Although, what's scary now is eUnited's T side will be tested. And we know that Ghost can lock down CT halves. Right? They've got a good defense. Well-versed in the art of defending.
Got that Wing Chun on deck.
Steel's been consistently picking up CZs in these pistol rounds.
And he's been pretty good with it too. But yeah, that is surprising. I guess the CZ never hurts. Force up or a pistol.
He's ahead of the curve. He is the meta.
He is the meta.
Pop flash. Ooh, 2 bodies inside the corner. You never expect to see that. An abomination, a totem pole.
Always go for the bottom guy, to be honest. He can't strafe as much, and then you can just keep aiming in the same place when he falls.
Yeah, and I feel like top guy's got to look down, harder to have that headshot crosshair placement.
It's true.
Plus, then if you take down the bottom guy, top has no accuracy.
That's right. Don't just be bewildered just because the top guy's all the way up in the air. Like, whoa, how's he doing that? Don't worry about that. Shoot exactly where you would normally shoot.
Gonna be the fast one. eUnited charge up lane side. Sabrosa. Oh, and Steel comes in from the corner, but Dazzle just frazzles both of them in the sight. That is glorious.
Oh my god. It seemed... And you can see where CZ, he was trying to conserve ammo. He's like, I shot just as many as I think should kill him. I might tap one more time. That probably would have killed him. But that wasn't, that was too much time. Dazzle with a cool 180. Oh my god, what's happening?
Headshots, Launders. Headshots are happening. One of which through a wall. We are back into the 2 versus 2. This is not supposed to happen. 5v2 bomb plant. It looks like it's eUnited's pistol, but it's not over yet. And an elongated duel inside of the site. Ace will get himself a second. So eUnited take pistol, and now Ghost, now they're in a bit of a pickle.
Finally, he comes a bit alive, and that was almost a clean 2v5. I think those last 2 kills were some of the easiest ones. So surprised that they couldn't lock it up overall. Ghost, and this is a term that something we haven't said in a long time, Connor. It's something we've made it a point never to say. They lost a pistol they probably needed.
Yeah, a very important one. Very important indeed. But I do feel like Ghost are very competent in terms of upsetting in the second rounds.
Very true.
And
Looked fierce on their pistols in the first half for sure.
and then when it comes to eUnited, I always wonder, like, I've seen eUnited across many iterations of the roster, across the sponsors, Rise Nation. I've seen them struggle in these kinds of rounds. You know, every team throughout their growing phases seems to struggle closing out maps.
Yeah.
And I don't think that eUnited have entirely tackled that issue yet. Obviously, they're better now than ever, I would say.
Yeah, definitely one way to think about it is that, like, you don't worry about the score. You keep playing like you've always played. Decisions don't have to do with what the score is, more so what money you have, what money you think the other team has. And the other thing is just, like, playing as hard, like, playing for 20 rounds. You know, play for 20 rounds, don't play for 60, and then you won't maybe cool off towards the end.
They do find the back of Sabrosa in the site. Wardell was supposed to be here to help, but well, Dapper's found him trying to sneak away. No survivors.
Good start. You did a good job setting that up. I definitely was wondering, ooh, are Ghosts going to get away with murder here? But United quell the flame. Ooh, I was in Ghost Story mode.
Yes.
I was about to bust out the marshmallows
You excited for Halloween?
for a portable campfire. Not really. Don't really care about Halloween whatsoever.
No?
What about you?
I mean, you struck me as the kind of guy that would dress up.
I did. I have in the past. Yeah, I've been lots of things.
Not anymore?
Can't be bothered.
Too cool?
I'm not going to dress up, Tom Eric. That answers for both of you.
If you had to go to a costume party, say your job was on the line.
That'd be Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Turtleneck, dad jeans, dad shoes, and Harry Potter glasses.
We talked about the dad jeans, but we didn't bring up turtlenecks. That's a good dad attire.
Yeah, you could sell iPhones. That's literally what he did for so many years. Are you going to be Steve Jobs for Halloween now?
I'm not, no.
Because you got to shave your head. All that beautiful hair.
It's half my personality. Good grenade barrage here inside a banana. Gets them an opening kill. Where do they go from here?
And now, I'm not exactly sure. Seems like eUnited are tense, tentative, patient, maybe a bit timid, as they wait to make sure they don't make a mistake and embarrass themselves in front of Connor, who's truly worried about their anti-eco potential. But he does come through. Dapper gets the 1 kill in B. Everything else is cleared, and they can finally relax.
Moose is going to get them all. This is such a Moose thing to do. He's like, hey guys, go play the site.
Your girlfriend is face paint. And
what?
or, sorry, your girlfriend is face paint. Your girlfriend does makeup.
It's like, she's what?
Sophie does makeup.
Yeah, Sophie does do makeup.
She's
Yes, she does.
professionally.
Yeah,
Professional
graduated.
face paint.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
I said face paint.
Yeah, no, she's
So
actually,
juvenile.
she's actually, so there's a zombie walk in Montreal since it's October.
Uh-huh.
And she's doing some friends of hers, she's doing their makeup, and she's
Boom.
been sending me Snapchats, and they've been incredible.
Yeah.
Right? She's really into, like, gore makeup.
Yeah,
She's
so
kinda
I
weird
assume
that.
like it's Halloween.
Yeah.
What's she gonna paint some wrinkles on you while you throw on a turtleneck and go out Steve Jobs?
No, I thought you were going to be Steve Jobs. Why do I have to be? Where did this come
Because I'm
from?
not dressing up.
I want to be something cool and tough. You know, they say you can, Halloween's everything because you can be what you're not. So I want to be intimidating.
Brawny.
Yeah. It's a transition.
Okay. But you haven't thought of what that might be?
No, not at all.
What about Xavier? You can pull out a wheelchair. You can control things with your mind. Or wait, think about things really hard. You're kind of sick though.
I'm sick.
But you have power.
Thank you.
Mental power. Like if you're Xavier, not now.
Oh, I thought that was a compliment. I should have known better. I'm going to compliment eUnited's ability to stay composed if they can work this round with a double Mac 10. Because even though there are some limitations for Ghost on the other end, it's not Mac 10 liability. It's an opening kill towards Apps. Great flash. CT's just burst in.
That's what you need.
And of course, it's Steel to pick up a double. Why not?
Yeah, 2K with the CZ and Steel. Name a better combo.
Wardell's next to the plant box. Cleared the wrong corner. Dazzled down. Wardell still standing, floating round, and wow, a second headshot. That's not supposed to happen. Not only the CZ frags from Steel, but the rest of the cleanup crew towards A. A sixth one taken away. Ghost will best eUnited, despite the broken buy.
Now, it's not the second round, but it is kind of an anti-eco. A little bit of a force-up here. Great flash, however, as they overstacked B. Flash, I think, came from within the site while they had 2 players on Banana, so good coordination from Ghost Gaming, and I liked how they used their flash reactively once again. Same thing that we touted about eUnited and the way that they were playing Banana in the early rounds of the first half such a long time ago. I would like to see Ghost continue to do that and maybe make a case for themselves here on CT side, but it was eUnited with a 5-0 start in the first half, and once again, I guess it's 4-0 this time. Oh, it was a 5-10 half? It was a 5-10 half, so they won 3 rounds in a row. Okay, never mind.
You are forgiven. See if Ghost are also, or whether or not eUnited hold a grudge here, because they are more so equipped this time than last. Steel blinded, great flash, but the T is kind of caught in a crossfire. Substantial damage from Wardell, good angle work, and he does manage a frag on top of it. The smoke is soon to fade. Could try and blast another away, but he won't because he himself escapes the flames. Sabrosa takes his place, and with more damage downrange here, it's eUnited kind of coming to a grinding halt. I mean, check both sides of the health bars here. We could be looking at a 2v2 situation or less.
Definitely. Kind of chasing the kills though in that last exchange. Probably should have been able to lock it up, but Wardell did a fantastic amount of damage with the spray through the smoke. And Moose makes it a little bit more weird. That's the appropriate way to describe the situation. 3 up on A. They throw their last bit of utility, or a little bit of utility, over to this site, and they leave Moose alone with very high HP to catch rotators. Kusta, though, great timing on that nade. I don't think they even heard him.
Now the play from eUnited is going to be to wrap back to where this all started. We've got a very tagged Sabrosa hiding in the graveyard stairs, and then we've got Wardell also tagged. Whoa, my god, I thought he just flick shot him, but no, it's Sabrosa with the kill, and Wardell comes in from the corner. So that crossfire set from Ghost will seal the deal. Another round for them. eUnited now going to have to do some math. Calculate whether or not they want to buy or just kind of curb the purchase.
Least fun part of CS.
Numbers.
Has it changed since school? Were you good at math?
Me? No.
No?
Absolutely not.
I like numbers.
Why?
I don't know. Something I can't explain. I like numbers. I study philosophy, and I honestly feel like philosophy is more like math than any other subject. Because like logic is based on like this plus this equals this, you know, like if it makes sense,
sure.
You can figure out why.
Yeah.
It's not a guessing game.
The technical aspect of philosophy.
Like people feel like philosophy is very subjective. It's only the questions. It's only answers to questions that are super hard and ambiguous. But that's just the sediment of the remaining of the questions in philosophy that get repeated. Most of everything we know is, you know, started with some kind of philosophical question that was like figured out. So
I figured out why you like numbers.
Because I like philosophy.
Because you're a nerd.
Okay, Mr. Four Eyes. Just because I like a little math.
You can't just make fun of me because I'm blind in one eye. Like,
I almost fell over. I tried Connor's glasses on today, in the face paint room.
Yeah.
And almost got dizzy and fell unconscious. He's so blind. Is it both eyes?
No, it's my right eye.
Oh, I had to squint. I thought it was damaging my eyes, so.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to drive without glasses.
I wouldn't want to legally allow. If you lived in my country, I would make it illegal if you drove without glasses.
See, my dad's left eye is the bad one, and my right eye is the bad one. So I'm just waiting for him to give me his eye.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where you were going to go with that.
It's a matter of time.
They're like similar colors.
20/20 vision. It's on the horizon.
Okay. All right, Dad, if you're listening.
If he doesn't figure out my plot. I thought we could write off this round because it was just pistols, and then we saw a little bit happening on the other side of the map. But eUnited, they take their time, and they do still get a couple kills. They get it to the 2v2, but talking about the time, it's not to their favor. Steel just destroys any hope they had, and then Dazzle down after the round comes to a close.
They play that eco round out just to get it over with so that they can move on to this round with some more money, and Steel killed 2 of them, or 1 of them after time, I suppose. So fortunately for Dazzle, he has enough to get armor, utility, and then maybe a pistol, but I don't know if anyone's going to be able to drop him. For some reason, we've got multiple aces on the screen. Technical timeout's called, and I'm not sure what the issue might be. Probably just a player drop. Does your dad have the same colored eyes as you?
No, I'm going for that husky.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Look.
You look like a cat. Oh yeah, or a husky.
Yeah.
Nice.
He also has a bigger head, so I don't know if it's gonna work well. Might have one of those bulgy eyes, you know?
Do your eyes grow with the size of your head?
I don't know. Actually, okay, so I could either be really wrong here.
I feel like I know big dudes with small eyes.
There's certain parts of the human body that actually don't grow very much.
The head
from
doesn't grow
birth
very much.
To you know, the end.
Yeah.
And I believe the eyes are actually one of them.
What's
I
the
feel
whole
like,
head, actually?
Yeah, because think of a baby, right? Babies have huge eyes. That's what makes them cute. Big boogity eyes.
Boogity eyes.
So
is that true?
I don't know. I mean, if you let me think it. It's true
Yeah,
to me.
sorry, think out loud. Like, yeah, go ahead.
It's true to me.
Run down this train of thought. Okay.
But yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. So that's all.
Okay. So babies are cute.
I mean, that's subjective. Some babies are really ugly.
Maybe because they don't have big
I
boogity
have a
eyes.
feeling you were probably a really ugly baby.
I was actually a really cute baby, and then I was like busted in high school, and now I'm like kind of good looking again. I think early on I was lucky, and then it all fell apart, and then I came back.
It's a transition, right? You got to feel it out. So don't lose hope, folks. Wanderers
Yeah.
used to be ugly.
Life comes at you fast. Just hold on tighter. What's the Winston Churchill quote? If you're going through hell, just keep on going. And it wasn't necessarily hell, but
It was figurative.
yeah, it's a quote. Don't get too wrapped up in the quote.
But you can't get wrapped back up into the match because it has gone live. So quick pause called to an end. AWP. Ace nearly loses another duel versus Wardell. I feel like in terms of the opping power, Ghost Gaming have had it so far, this match in particular.
I was actually a fat baby. I look like a Michelin guy logo. I look like a tire.
I wouldn't want to tread on you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Is that going to
hurt.
spread?
Even if it doesn't, he's so susceptible to a frag. Or a single push. Steel gets it done. And Kusta over the shoulder catches Dazzle. So a 5 versus 2 out of nowhere. And this is Ghost Gaming slowly but surely catching back up into this game.
You see that, though, like a Dazzle like coming through the smoke for the trade. If he came in a moment earlier, obviously, maybe Dazzle stays alive. That would have been miraculous. But at least he goes for the attempt. I appreciate that for sure. We all absolutely need a teammate that can do that for us sometimes. But overall, a very confident start to the CT side, and I don't remember, for sure don't remember if Ghost started on CT side versus NRG. But can we find that out?
Yeah, I'll
Probably
do
a
the
way.
research,
We have
buddy.
what's called the internet. We could find out if they had the strong start on the CT side, and maybe it was all because of their CT side that
So
they were
Ghost
so good.
started with an 8-7 T side versus NRG.
So they did have a better CT side than
Yep.
T side.
And then they got
Slightly.
8 CT rounds
Ghost only got 6.
in 13. So it still took them quite a bit of time to close out the match.
Yeah. Actually, Ghost only got 5. Or sorry, Energy only got 5.
You said you were good with numbers.
Yeah, but it's when it's live and there's pressure on, it's a whole nother layer. That's like joining a math competition.
Yeah, I feel like if anyone ever asks me like, "Hey, you have any advice for casters?"
Don't
number
do
one
math on
piece is
stream.
don't do math.
You know, Sadukis does math on stream and he's actually really good at it.
That's why he's the best.
It's brave and it's crazy.
That's why
but
he is
will
the
do like
best.
the craziest overtime math and get it correct.
Let's see what we've got. Ace with an op, AK for Moose. Remember, those are the 2 pieces saved. They did go for Kevlar on some. And CZ 75s, of course, the pocket rifles. Wardell on a head stack. Doesn't see anybody at the bottom of mid. Doesn't want to stick around too long, and I don't blame him. Look at the way Dazzle just comes out from Boiler. I mean, if Wardell is kind of lurking around that same spot for even 2-3 seconds longer, then Dazzle's CZ is in his face. But he dodges the threat. And Ghost Gaming are going to rotate heavy numbers into this A site. There's been no presence shown from eUnited towards Banana at all, and that's something I don't want to start seeing from them. Obviously, this round could be a write-off because it's not fully equipped, but if you start or stop pressuring Banana, you're going to see these preemptive rotates from Ghost. I think they have a good read when it comes to CT side rotations.
Coast is clear here at top mid, and now eUnited have opted to fall back. Ghost have forfeited top Banana, so they are clear to come back if they want to. They have to decide. They're actually going to use a body to do it instead of a flash popping off, so they won't alarm anybody who's sitting on the A site right now, holding it down. That jump might have been heard, who knows. And there's also one person here on eUnited to catch rotations outside the apartments, at least through mid. So it hasn't been the quietest rotate. Now Ghosts are starting to congregate over towards the site.
Kusta and Neptune on the hard crossfire. An additional rotate in the form of Sabrosa. They're going to want to boost, but they have to do it now. He's spamming through the smoke, and then Sabrosa strikes. They thought maybe it was clear. Good kill from Ace. Very crucial. And Moose as well skewers it from the other side of the map. The bomb plant denied. Wardell wins the round from downtown. What a lob as he hides behind the pillar and just slinks away.
He actually almost... That's unreal. And he stays alive. That is so crazy. What a grenade. We're gonna have to like lament in that moment for a second. We just take in the severity of that impact. eUnited have not had a good half so far. Apart from getting their first 3 rounds, haven't won anything. Ghost are now just back into this, favored in every situation, it feels like. It's been treacherous for early starts, just constantly getting tormented at the bottom of Banana by all these nades and this off presence, and now even in the halls they're gonna have an enemy, but they luckily narrowly avoid not getting opt.
Yeah, Wardell actually almost goes down for that, so he's still gonna be a problem as he sinks back into the far side of the setup. eUnited pressuring Banana this time, good. So they didn't make it a trend. It's just the one-off in the last round. Feel like Moose, I mean, that flank, he got the first kill into Arch last round, but it was finding Wardell that was the problem. And the crazy part is too, is like, sure, he denied the plant, but if Moose gets a single bullet into Wardell as he's hiding behind pillar, that's still the round for eUnited. It's not like the plant was absolutely mandatory. The kill could have got the job done. But Moose hunts based on movement, and Wardell held still. Here's Steel's peek, nearly disrupts the man going for the nades, but of course now he is stuck and they know exactly where he's at. He still manages to frag one? That's not supposed to happen.
2 flashes. 2 flashes for insurance.
Sabrosa's in the pit, Wardell the bomb site, and then Kusta's floating around in library with a smoke currently in his eyes. A tough nut to crack, this A bomb site, even despite Wardell being low HP. He's hiding next to the pillar yet once more. Dapper in the open, trying to swivel his head around, but cannot find an additional kill. eUnited can't find a round.
Yeah, they're lacking explosiveness now. I mean, they're not getting these kills. Maybe if the default goes a lot smoother, they just like win a round and we don't know how everything fell apart. But at the point where they need to execute, get on the site, it seems like they're having trouble keeping things together, whereas Ghosts are happy to hold their spots. They have kind of shown that they have a complete game, and this is a critical moment for eUnited. Again, they're now 1-3. This could make it 1-4. This could ruin their confidence for the next map, and that could be the number of losses to exclude them completely from finals, even though they've had such a good start in this map already. So I'm sure they see victory, but at the same time, I feel like Ghosts see it better than they do. I think the path to the end of this map is much clearer for Ghost.
Yeah, everything's working right now for Ghost. That's the problem. It's not like they really need to adapt too much, whereas eUnited's still struggling to find that footing.
And they don't even get those like lucky once every 5 rounds where they have a good couple of clean entries. Wardell, throws his nade and clutches out a round they're not supposed to win even then.
I feel like that definitely would have been one of the rounds eUnited should have walked away with, and even just one would put them on 14. That single step closer to victory. Quick setup from eUnited into the apartments, but you just said, right, they're kind of lacking that explosiveness. They exploded into the apartments, but then they stopped. They're going to be a little cautious. They're going to play with the time here. But a 4-man burst out from Balk, I don't know if I believe in something like this. Although, with a fantastic flashbang, it could work out. But Wardell still has cover. And even though they're close, Sabrosa and Steel will give him the help he most certainly needed. Dapper closes the distance, but not enough bullets in the gun. And so Ghost have won yet another round. The gap closed to only 1 round.
Just one single round, and Ghost will have tied up for the first time in the game. Yeah, a hot start for United. They never came back from it. It was tough. It was a tough first half. Yeah, United cannot get anything going, and they really just have to figure it out. So at least that for them, that was just an eco. They played it nice and simply. They got as farther than they probably should have, and now they can go on to full weapons and look for a sustainable way to put a round together. And then, you know, hopefully for them too. But if not, Ghost are happy to do what they've been doing. Wardell seeing this exact same position with a player to his left, and obviously he's aiming farther back, assuming that he got here first. But clearly is conscious of both options. Dazzle spammed right through the wall. Wardell also offered up an easy kill. Once again, United are low on numbers.
Daring 13 in the face, Mohan.
Yep, it's an ugly beast.
Molotov down based on the smoke being shown. Who do we got up above? That's Neptune with a little bit of verticality. Kusta to try and draw attention. Flashbang blinds up Dapper. He gets nothing. Neptune sees the head. There goes Ace and Relics to follow suit. Solid hold and great initial positioning from Ghost in order to secure a 5v3.
Simple stuff. They really just did all of the regular things that you do on patrol as a CT player.
I feel like we're starting to watch Ghost now kind of flex on eUnited with how many rounds they've managed to put to the board, with eUnited kind of coming up short. I think Ghosts are making more proactive plays. And that's something that they maybe weren't afforded in the first half because they were playing off the back foot, because eUnited were establishing leads. Now we're watching Ghost open up.
B-rush.
Floodgates wide. And so is the kill distributions. Neptune with a double, Kusta a single, and a 5v2 yet again out of the gates in what seems like merely seconds.
Unfortunate, man. They're just starting to look very lackluster at the moment. The narrative has totally changed. It really felt like United were just going to bring this home, give Ghost their first loss, which is another daunting storyline Ghost no longer seem to have to worry about. And now just the 2 players left on the eco. Feeling the pressure.
And I feel like this is actually a score, like, despite obviously eUnited having an early lead, it's kind of surprising just because we've seen Ghost pretty much dispatch their opponents. But we did mention that, you know, eUnited Ghost is an interesting matchup because it's not one that I think Ghost would be comfortable with. Not as comfortable or prepared for maybe, say, something like NRG or MIBR. So eUnited make the most of that, I think, but now it's cracking into what has been a fantastic defense from Ghost, because they have had a solid start to the season. And I think CT sides are always going to be their bread and butter. But further grenade damage, we'll see if they can get away flawlessly. Neptune the only one closest to death, and that's not going to stop him from getting not only a kill, but an assist on top.
And a lead.
Ghost back in the lead.
A lead. That's unreal. Back in the lead. This is the first time. This is the first lead of the whole map.
Yeah. And it comes at the 27th round.
Yeah, tough pill to swallow. Trade's not on point there. And match pause called. We don't know if it's tactical or technical.
Tack time.
Tack time.
United.
No better time to do it. They are on for a bye. They really need to hold everything together. The problem is, I feel like the calls could be good, but as soon as as soon as all the nades are thrown and everybody's grouped for things, we just need to basically move ahead with the push. Potentially what their best bet is to try to stay alive for as long as possible, since their default might not be working so well, and then just go right into a pretty quick execute. In my opinion, Ghosts are not doing that much on Banana. Sometimes they're giving it up a little bit early. Maybe you try to fight for it this time. If there's no resistance, just straight up try to do a 5-man on it before any rotations are called, and yeah, keep it a little bit more simple. Clearly, people are a bit tilted. Communication's not as smooth as it should be. I would up the pace and forget long drawn-out rounds with complicated defaults.
You know, they can explode. It's kind of the one thing that put them on the map initially. Throughout all their iterations. And it's very crucial that they start adding structure to the equation, but sometimes you just got to go back to your roots. Let's get weird.
Let's get weird. Remember where you came from.
Smokes the top of middle. Frags back here from Ghost. Not going to find any chip damage, and it's actually Ghost getting within these sites. I feel like it's actually putting their foot on the bomb site that's been one of the biggest issues. Wardell around that tall box. Teammates over towards pit. eUnited can't quite seem to just break it open. And if they don't do it this time, it's overtime secured at least. CTs go on a bit of an expedition here. They move forward closer towards the corners.
This is strange. They cleared out top mid. Ghost came to flash in to retake it, and then they weren't even there to begin with.
Here's the burst. Good pop flash. You see it blinding the two players and forcing them to fall back slightly, but this is 30 seconds left, and Wardell's going to find an angle inside the smoke. Nearly collaterals them, but does still die. Doesn't manage to get himself wrapped around the corner, and it's eUnited to wrap into the site. 20 seconds still. They need to fight and find Sabroza, who is pinned into the corner. Perfect timing with the peek, and he picks himself up too. It's cleared by Moose, and it's even once more, but the bomb is on this site, and the plant is on. So this round could finally be it. This could be their chance to tie once more. Although, it's not going to be too easy, because Kusta's coming in off of Balk. Moose is waiting for it. And he's got 2 frags already, but you see his attention being pulled in multiple directions, which means timing could play a part of this. A great flashbang blinds him slightly, but that bomb is halfway gone. And the CTs still haven't managed to push forward. Dazzle's waiting on his off angle. Excellent headshot, and here we go. eUnited forcing this one at least to 30 rounds.
Excellently played, and I just feel like I almost got everything wrong there. They played the complex default out. They did something very interesting at top mid where it seemed like they played to make it seem like they were going to take top mid control, tried to bait Ghost into retaking it, and once they went for the reclaim, re-exect, and then went ahead with an A-exec. I think that was a total curveball from eUnited and Ghost size, and the entire time they looked really well coordinated. Good on Dazzle and Moose, obviously, who stayed alive that entire time and got all 5 kills.
And they've got a 5v4. I mean, there is a realm of possibility here where eUnited out of nowhere, at the very last hurdle, just turn around and win this in regulation.
It could happen. Anything is possible.
2 rounds left to make the difference. Ghost and eUnited. You called them the 2 dark horses of this season, and I think it makes for a very interesting matchup. I feel like Ghost are to NRG what eUnited are to Ghost. But we'll see how this one unfolds, because it's a really fast wrap. Sabroza gonna get cleared immediately from the balcony, and it's not like Steel can do anything, even despite being close. If he walks through, there are a lot of bodies, but he hits the most crucial one. He throws bomb out into the open. It's still gonna be the plant, but it's at least slowed things down long enough for the rotations to come over, and the flames envelop the site. Gonna make for some awkward footing, but it's ace traded. The op duel here from Steel has managed to keep this close. Dapper, 3 HP. Not that there's any grenades for Ghost to throw forward.
2 ops.
Double sniper. Not the best of positions to be in for the retake. Steel announces himself. Gonna get hit from Dazzle, and this is eUnited securing at least OT. They have gone the distance through the trials and tribulations, and they could still win it here in the 30th.
You gotta hand it to them. They really figured it out in those last few moments. I mean, that round looked clean as hell. They just were able to flash explode up to top mid. They did what worked in a brand new way, and it seemed like they just cut the slack from the last round, didn't bother with the whole let's be fancy, try to fake it thing, and just went ahead with some momentum. And now they're pulling it all the way to 30. They get the 2 rounds they need to guarantee overtime at the minimum, and now they have all of the guns that they need once again. So this is going to be another scary round for both sides. This is anyone's game still. As we can see, Ghost Gaming had a great half, and eUnited suddenly on the final yards.
eUnited have been bullied by Ghost on this T side. And finally, just as it looks like people are going to step in and break it apart, eUnited stand up and smack them across the face with a surprising 15th round. But they are now fighting with a 5v4. They are grouped up entirely towards the bracket side of A, and if they continue forward, sure, they have a man advantage, but that is a bolstered A bomb site. And we have seen it before, Sabroza and co locking this down. Gonna have to do it yet again. Smokes and flashes go deep, 2 heads turned into the wall, and Sabroza can't connect his shots. That's gonna put pressure on Steel and Wardell. They are not fixating anything over towards Archside, and in doing so, they're making the right call because the entirety of eUnited walk forward, Steel cleared from the corner. Wardell's got to do this single-handed, and he does at least keep it even. It's going to be the plant, and the retake's on. There's so many flashbangs still up. Both teams have them. And if they nailed the timing with a quick shot combined, then this could still be going forward, but maybe a couple bullets is all it's gonna take. Moose waiting for them to cross. Ace, he's down. It is just Moose, and it is just 2 headshots that makes the difference. eUnited serving Ghost their first loss of the season.
They did better than NRG. They did better than MIBR. They were able to do it. They took it over the line in the 30th round, and it looked like a choke. It looked like all of the signs of a terrible end to a great start, and somehow they must have given, the Ghost must be so salty.
It's so important that eUnited actually picked up that pistol because of the 5 rounds, or excuse me, 6 that they pick up in the second half. 3 of them are the pistol and conversions. That is awesome to see. eUnited taking down what looked like a new contender, but we'll see you again for Train.